You know, sometimes I question some of the videos I feature from a particular perspective, which is how perfectly timed lots of these videos are. It's like he was recording a normal video casually when, out of the ordinary, something odd happened. Look, I do like these kinds of videos because I believe they fit more genuinely into the scary videos category, but the thing is, some of them just don't make a lot of sense, which takes me to the next clip featuring Luther. The video is almost 15 years old, which breaks my heart remembering that time, but you're not here to watch a grown old man crying about his memories. No, you're here for the value. Though my tears aren't valuable enough to you, how sad. Anyways, Lucifer. Luther has not been involved with the poltergeists in his videos prior to or even after this one video, which is a little odd because we never got a follow-up, which kind of gives the vibe that maybe he was either trying something new on the internet at the time or it just happened once to him. The man was supposedly messing with his phone's settings because that was at a time that social media as we know it didn't exist, so phone settings were what we used to do in our free time when all of a sudden the cabinet in his kitchen was slowly opened behind him. Obviously, since it didn't creak or make any noise, Luther didn't pay attention until an object was sent flying out of that cabinet, sending Luther on his knees out of fear.
When you're done, due dates? None. Late fees? Non-existent.
I have access to every single game I could possibly imagine.
Go to Gamefly.com now. Click the joystick in the top right corner. Enter Soldier in the box and get started with a free extended trial. And remember, you can cancel at any time. Product shown rated E through F. Gamefly also offers gift certificates for the gamer in your life. Save up to 20%. I love Gamefly.
We only have saved with Progressive. What do you do for Progressive? Buy people gas.
Come on around, we'll fill up your tank for you.
You're so kind. Thank you.
Even check the market save. So I'll be out there sharing my savings with the people I meet. They're looking for this in Albuquerque.
Saving it forward. Now that's Progressive.
Let's run days of velocity, get sent on great TV. Wish you won't believe why you're buying classics off the jar. What's my God?
Think I need a Ferrari.
Let's read for British price, what to lie to British guys. Spend some tricked out price for celebrities.
I like to bring you surprises.
Don't miss the 12 Days of Velocity. 12 days of your favorite Velocity shows, starting December 22nd.
The thing is, Luther is one of the OGs on this platform. His first video was uploaded almost 20 years ago, almost as old as this platform. Go check his channel if you want some of that 2005 to 2007 vibe. The next video is something like a mix of reality and fantasy at the same time. I honestly couldn't really tell what I was looking at, and neither did the investigator in the video. We have a man in the middle of an investigation in an abandoned, anonymous place. He was holding what seems to be a doll-shaped object. It's made out of wooden sticks and tree branches, wrapped up with strings. I don't know why it was there in the first place, or I didn't know until I found out with the investigator. So he grabbed that thing and then he put it back on the table, and that was what flipped the tables. Not literally, the table in the video is standing still. It's just a metaphor. But not long after he put that doll on the table, something seemed to have grabbed the man from behind, choking him, which he fell unconscious because of. And when he woke up, supposedly, he found himself under some intense conditions. It was like a ritual taking place right where he was standing, where one or two men were sitting in front of that doll, performing their ritual. The man was on the ground baffled. He stood up, tried to get close, but then decided to leave. The door was locked, things turned dark, and before you knew it, the investigator turned around and the ritual was gone. Obviously, he couldn't believe what he just witnessed. Neither did I didn't believe anything, in fact. The guy tried to flee, but the door wouldn't open. The door handle even broke before he could even open it. It was a scary experience for sure.
Apa ini? Apa ini? Masa iya ini tujuannya? Kalau memang ada tujuan dari benda ini, tunjukkan semua ejakulasi ataupun apapun yang ada di sini. Berikan saya pertanda kalau memang kalian ada di sini. Tunjukkan semua apapun itu di depan mata saya. Ah. 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 Anjing. Saya lihat halu aja. Saya lihat halu kah ini pagi. Ah, cok, cok. Allah Akbar, la ilaha illallah. Astagfirullahaladzim. Ya Allah, ya Allah. Astagfirullahaladzim. Astagfirullahaladzim, ya Allah, ya Allah. Ya Allah, itu alat musiknya kayak seperti bunyi, teman-teman. Serius, ini di depan mata saya jelas banget, anjing.
Yeah, that's what I mean when I say cinema. This video is basically a cinematic scene of what could happen when you mess up in a scary place haunted by ghosts. But in movies, honestly, I didn't buy this one clip. I couldn't swallow it. I mean, how did he wake up and these people just spawned in there before they disappeared the same way? When I first saw the bathroom of Brandy's house in the next video, I had a weird feeling. It was somewhere nostalgic, I don't know why, but it felt as if I had seen it before, like in other clips I have seen. What a nice way to kick off the next one, I know, but hear me out. What more should we hear after this so-called introduction? You already spoiled the beans and ruined the experience. How about you allow me to fix my mistake and bring the vibe back? How will you? After you broke the bond, how are we supposed to trust you again? We are not in relationships here, so stop being overly dramatic. Brandy is a lady, and I know you thought I was going to say it's a man, but no, she is living in a haunted house. In fact, she has been living in it for far too long. So what's the deal with her? Didn't you hear what I just said? I told you the whole situation. As for today, she might have moved into a new one, but it seems like she has more of an attachment than just living on a ruined property. In one of the clips, where she places a camera right beside her cat's butt, in the kitchen, the dryer machine opens its gate for the clothes to come out dry and clean. So what's so scary about such advanced technology? It literally knew how to open the door when it finished. Oh, so you're now scared of artificial intelligence. But that's not the case here, as this drying machine wasn't anywhere near advanced, so the door wasn't opened because of some technology, but rather a ghost. How stupidly scary. While the two, Brandy and her husband, were on the bed, family friendly. If I'm not mistaken, that same dryer did the thing again. It's getting even scarier now. Is it really? Then hear this one out. While Brandy was checking to see if what she heard was real, the electricity got messed up in one of the light bulbs. The other night she was up checking around when the door started knocking all of a sudden, but there was no one outside. Where did the delivery guy go?
Alright, y'all, so I'm sitting here watching TV, and there's some strange noises that keep coming out of the hallway. So I told you we're going to document everything, so we're going to investigate this together. There's some banging noises coming up in here. Yeah, Toby, what the fuck is that? Well, there you go. Doors shutting on their own.
It has been quiet here for months. Then just a few weeks ago I started hearing scratching sounds. Tapping. Now the lights. These are two videos just from this morning. Lord, please don't start acting out again. Stick around. I will try and capture more. Listen at the end. Do you hear something? Or is it just my nerves? Late last night, I heard noises that were unusual for our house.
What's that? Oh, you scared me, kitty. Yeah, Tucker. Well. You can't want food. No. There was a noise.
Yeah, there's...
If the problem has more to do with you than the place itself, then in your case, you should go to someone who is called an expert in these cases. Maybe it's a priest for you, but never go to someone who describes himself as an expert. He might just end up being a clout chaser. I'm literally confused at this point. I'm not talking about myself on a personal level, like being confused in life. That's a different topic. What I meant is that I'm completely confused when it comes to the subsequent clip. Look, I still have my grandma, and to be clear, I don't expect her to behave in any shape or form like the grandma we have in the video. If I ever find my grandma acting like the one we have next, I'm probably going to enter a phase of villainy. I might have to take the shot. See how confused you are now? You have no idea what I'm talking about, and this is exactly my point. At first, when I watched the clip, I thought it was just one more clip of those, where some teens find a creepy figure living with them in the house. They just found out that. But then I looked at the context, and it turned out that no, this figure is not just some random monster. This monster was their grandma. I mean, this was not a creepy figure. At least that's what it shouldn't be. She is their grandma. They began recording after they heard weird laughter coming from within their property. They then found out that their grandma was standing in the dark, bursting out with these laughs. They were so scared, they started questioning if she took her medication. But let me ask you this question. What kind of illness does she have that will turn her into something so terrifying? Anyhow, one of them approached her, and when she laughed even harder, sending the man running.
Para, vó! Cadu! Que porra é essa, Cadu? Cadu, ela tomou remédio. Cadu, ela tomou remédio. Tomou, cara. Tem certeza? Não é possível. Ela não tomou. É óbvio que ela não tomou. Olha como é que ela tá, irmão. Vai lá falar com a tua avó. Cadu, a avó é tu. Resolve isso, Cadu. Dá um jeito nisso. Vai, fala com ela. É a avó dele que se foda. A gente não tem culpa. Vó, para com isso, vó. Cadu, sai daí! Cadu, Cadu, vai lá falar com ela, Cadu. Cadu, fala com ela. Fala com ela. Fala com ela. Fala com ela. Ela não vai ficar assim, ela vai ficar... Controla ela, Cadu, pelo amor de Deus! Pelo amor de Deus, Leque, sério!
I honestly wouldn't want to see my grandma ever again if she would behave like this. I mean, to be clear, from what I saw in the video, I didn't even know this was a human. If you once feel overwhelmed by anything, especially by a ghostly presence, you should never think twice. You just have to evacuate the place, even if that place happens to be your home. Because remember, home isn't a place, nor is it about people. I don't know what home is, honestly. But it's definitely no longer your home when ghosts invade it and try to freak you out of it. Which takes me to Zen, our investigator in the upcoming footage. He was heading to an abandoned house he previously investigated, and he did reach his destiny in the end. What a nice context, but to be honest, he never provided any context to begin with, other than the fact that he made a previous visit. It all began when he set up his equipment and started using the ghost detector device, waiting for any possible response. He eventually received what he hoped for, multiple knocks on the wall in front of him. Though he rushed to check the place, obviously he was completely alone. Then it turned into chaos when the REM pod, or whatever the device he was using, began beeping time and time again. It was almost as if he was working at a McDonald's counter, because the beep sounded exactly like that. Zen had a bell hanging on the doorknob. It was rattled and rang on its own. If you thought it was done there, then think again. For once in your life, think twice. As the paranormal activity escalated, the bangs became more apparent, but this time these knocks reached the doors. The ghosts didn't hold back on the man, and he had a wild reaction, not just because he was scared, but because he pointed at the source of the activity and then stared at us, almost blaming us, as if we were the ones who were trying to scare him. At some point, the man was terrified and ran back to the dining room, but I couldn't tell why. But the second time clarified my suspicions. The reason why Zen ran in fear was due to the curtain being pulled while no wind or person was behind it.
Hemos aquí colocado esa cámara de nuevo. Fijaos. Esto yo no lo recuerdo así. Hubieron bastantes respuestas increíbles. Y vamos a colocar un poco las cosas, ¿no? Por eso ahí. Y esta por aquí. Ahí está. Un momento. Ahí está. Literal, ¿eh? Tío, 2 toques ahí. Tío, otra vez. Y este lo vamos a colocar aquí. Lo muevo. ¡Eh! Anda un golpe por aquí. Ha tocado la puerta. Ha sonado en la puerta, tío. Esto va a pitar. Hostia. Le ha tocado. Le ha tocado. Han dado 3 toques, tío. 3 toques. Hostia. 3 toques. Y la puerta cerrada. ¡Mira, mira! Dios mío, Dios mío. Dios mío, Dios mío. Se ha reído. Dios mío. Dios mío. ¿De dónde ha salido esa risa, tío? Tío. Tío, eso venía para mí. Dios mío, bendito de mi vida. Tío. Mira, y pita el detector. Pedazo de estruendo ahí otra vez, tío. Tío, están pitando a la vez, han pitado también el del fondo. Ahora que estoy aquí, vuelve a manifestarte. ¡Hostia, hostia, hostia! ¡Madre mía! ¡Déjame en paz! ¡Hostia, que parió! ¡Hostia, que parió! Dios mío de mi alma y de mi corazón.
That was a 5-star night right there for this guy. But the last time I featured him, the investigation was even more intense. But that was the past. We here only care about the present moments, enjoy them as they are. What is worse than living in an old house located on a farm? Because, hear me out, such places, in farms, are known for the creepiest encounters. At least, that's what we have learned from watching horror movies. But back to the main question, what is worse than living in such a place? Living in that very same place knowing that there is also a graveyard under it. Not only that, yeah folks, there is still the kicker. Your grandparents and your cat have been buried in there. So after hearing such information you might be aware, or at least have an idea, of what the next video is about. It's about a lady named Britt. Don't be so surprised, I know you thought it was about someone living in a place like the one I mentioned, but it is indeed. Britt lives in a farmhouse, an old one, where there is a graveyard underneath. The cemetery itself is part of an old family ranch. Recently, Britt noticed strange and creepy behavior by her dog Josie. Josie has been doing such things she has never done before, and it is causing Britt to be chilled to the bones. Josie has been barking and staring at the closet in the bedroom for absolutely no reason, even though there is no one in there, and you will see in the video that there is clearly no being in that closet. That same behavior was also seen from Josie outside, in a spot near where Britt's grandparents and her cat were buried. So it's clear that this strange, creepy phenomenon is linked to them somehow. But if the dog wasn't enough, Britt's neighbors have cows, and these cows have been showing up lately frozen in place, refusing to move, fixating at Britt's house for no reason. All these scary activities were a proven point that the place is haunted. As she once received her food delivery, the house alarm went off for no reason, and when Britt went inside to turn it off, something pulled her from her shirt.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sorry about that.
Yeah, this location is outside, no here.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. It's okay. No problem.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
You the cows over there?
I scared. Is the cow?
They're actually not mine. I don't know. It wasn't showing up here.
No, yeah.
No.
Oh.
They come hang out around here every night. Yeah. Why would you do this happen in your house?
What?
I just don't really know what she's staring at. Because again, like, this is usually how she looks when she's waiting for me to come in, and I'm just like, what? What is it? What is it? So, I'm recording this just in the off chance that no one believes me. Maybe I can catch it. And by the way, I have a freaking cemetery in my front yard, which probably doesn't help my cause. But I was just inside, I'm by myself with my dog. She's up in that room upstairs. You can really hear her working from here. And it has me really freaked out. Josie? Josie? Yeah, she's just been staring at that, and then she started barking, and she growled, and when she growled, I kind of like booked it, but I don't really know, like, that's usually like her stance while she's waiting for me to come home, and I'm just like, is she waiting for someone to walk out of that closet? Like, staring at that, and then she started barking, and she growled, and when she growled, I kind of like booked it. I don't really know, like, that's usually like her stance while she's waiting for me to come home. Is she waiting for someone to walk out of that closet? Like,
Cute.
oh my god. Hi. Thank you. See, this is what I'm talking about. Every night, like even at night, they even come and hang out here, and they just like stand and like Are you for real right now?
You would never be able to sleep afterwards, especially knowing that not only is your dog seeing ghosts, but also these ghosts are targeting you directly. You know things are getting way too aggressively far with the poltergeist when the ghost decides to straight up bury you alive. This is no joke. When they don't know how heavy an object is and throw it at you, these ghosts have had enough with playing games. They are going right for the finisher. Like, I remember there was a video, a paranormal investigation from the Middle East, where a full-size 2-meter water gallon was thrown in the air by the jinn. I don't like houses, particularly involving the passing of the owners in them, especially if these owners were elders. Raphael, Andre, and the third headed to investigate an abandoned house, a house with a history, not a rich one. It is said that in this house, a family of 3 lived together, 2 elders who had a disabled son. They passed away inside the property. I don't know if it happened before their son or after, but they are all gone at this point. So to make matters worse, the investigators we have next decided to provoke their spirits, the previous owner's spirits, by heading straight onto the house, claiming that they came in peace, but if they weren't careful, they could have left in pieces. The investigation began. They were looking for any negative energy around because they were already fed up with the fake positive energy all around them, and they found what they were scanning for using the EMF meter. It gave them many signals, but we are still not deep with the paranormal. As they continued, so did the ghosts. The team wanted all the smoke, and these spirits didn't shy away. A thud sound echoed, so that got their attention, which drove them to look for a different room where hopefully they could capture some real paranormal activity. A closet door felt a little shaky. They sensed something off about it, and they were right with their sensations this time around as the door started shaking on its own. That was just the appetizer for them, especially for Raphael. He didn't see what was coming particularly to him. When he was trying to check on one of the rooms alone, some plates were thrown in his direction. Luckily, he didn't get hit. In the attic, a biker's helmet was driving by itself, thinking it could become the biker himself. Talking about getting buried, they threw a whole closet on that mother-lover Raphael, but he made it out safe.
Tá lasqueira. Olha lá. Nossa. Caramba, só que nenhum parente veio tirar a roupa ali. Ó, Rafa, que eu achei mais uma tramela. Você que habita esse local, você pode chegar mais perto da gente ou fazer presente? Cara, eu escutei um negócio aqui, cara. Tá ficando gelado aqui. Escutei um sussurro, sei lá. E o André tá sentindo uma presença muito forte. Aí você desce aqui, tô ali perto da porta. Perto da porta. Tem alguém aí que tá mexendo. Tá mexendo. Quem é você que tá aí? Mais pra trás. Consigo que aqui tá tudo podre, galera. Dá um sinal pra gente. Ou se você puder mexer a porta pra gente ver. Você consegue? Uou! Tá lasqueira! Uou! Quem é você? Caramba! E assim, ó, eu acho que eu vi um orbe. Olha lá, mano. Deixa eu passar. Vai lá. Não, assim, Rafa, sinceramente, nesse canto aí, ó, tá pesado, Rafa. Tá pesado. Cuida que pode alguma coisa cair na tua cabeça. Tem alguém aqui? Caramba, velho. Eita, o Rafa, tá bem? Tá bem? Tá bem, Rafael? Caraca, cara, tudo por cima. Galera, isso aqui rapidinho. Esse negócio voou tudo daqui, ó. Caramba. Rapaz, tem cadeira, sapato. Alguém aí pode dar um sinal pra gente? Tá prela! Tá prela! Nossa senhora! Capacete aqui, cara! Não consigo passar pra lá, não. Capacete aqui, saiu... Nossa, não dá pra pisar ali não, tá podre isso. Tá podre, cara. O capacete saiu arrastando, cara.
Pode subir, Rafa.
Eu vou descer, senão vocês não vão conseguir subir. Tá frio! Tá frio, tá atacando a gente, cara. Caramba, cara, lá fora. Tá frio!
Cuida, Rafa. Pra não cair. Cuida.
Não sei se eu volto lá pra arrumar isso, que eu tenho dó de deixar a casa dos velhinhos assim, cara. Vai saber quem fez isso aqui.
É bem agressivo, hein? Bem agressivo, galera. Meu Deus do céu.
Caramba, meu Deus do céu, coisa do guarda-roupa, cara. O armário? Segura aqui.
Senti a mão, cara, em cima.
That lucky fella had 2 chances to leave the place on crutches. Somehow the objects were heavy or sharp enough to leave a mark on him. The question remains, if the previous owners were elders and their son was disabled, who needed that biker's helmet? Lant is a man with a voice tone and way of speaking that might hint in the other direction. But we never know. This dude lives alone with his little dog, and recently, maybe not recently, he discovered that his house might be haunted. He has a Mickey Mouse doll, and he has discovered it was somehow cursed. But how did he come up with that conclusion? You have to ask him in this case. I'm not sure where the origins of this doll come from. But he tried to French fry that thing. In other words, he lit it up with fire. He told the fans that the thing is cursed and shouldn't stick around the venue anymore. So he burned it and started shouting evil in a way that almost blew my eardrums. But I had to listen for the rest of the video, only to find out that it was never burned. Is that thing fire resistant? No, probably not. But how do I put this in a way that even a 3-year-old could understand it? Basically, it was resurrected. It came back and waited for him in the bathroom. The man couldn't stand to look at it, so he ran to his bedroom. So the ghost in his house shut the door on him and gave him the nighttime treatment. He tried to use an app on the phone that should potentially pick up any voices of evil spirits as EVPs, but along the process, some weird sounds were heard. It was like faint screams. He once picked up a so-called demonic apparition, where there was what appeared to be a head sticking out from behind the couch. The dog freaked out and had to take a closer look. Little did that dog know that Lant might sell him cheap in serious moments. He closed the door on himself and hardly opened the door for the dog to get in. What a disappointment for the human's most trusted animal. Lant also tried to perform a special ritual in front of the mirror, only to be baffled by more unexplained sounds.
What should we do? Should I continue? Let's just finish the game properly. I'm the one who bullied your brother. Jeff the I'm the one. Hello? Can you guys hear it? Oh God. I'm the one who bullied your brother. Who is it? Shit, we forgot to turn off the lights. Help you? Where are you? Hello? You said help you? Where are you? Show yourself.
Merlin, back up. Move. Move. Back up. Somebody's in the house. Merlin! Come in here. Jeff? Oh God, he's in the house. We should have turned off the lights. Oh God. Oh God. Just leave the house now! We're gonna turn them off! Just leave the house now, Jeff! Minnie Mouse, can you hear me? Minnie Mouse, I need you to help me with something. Can you help me? Is it true that if I play the Crow Man, I'm going to reach an unavoidable ending? Wait, let me turn it up. What is this? Crow Man. Scared me. It looked like another face. Who knows the game One Man Hide and Seek? I played One Man Hide and Seek with this doll. I'm surprised it looks so clean. I burnt the doll. So it's time to burn it again. Hold up. Because I don't understand why it came back. Let me get some. I'm going to burn it with holy water. Some of this Florida water. Perfect. Cleanse it. Because it came back and then I cut myself and it popped up at the window. I don't want to show you guys this, but look. I literally cut myself. I slipped my finger by accident and then it popped up at the window. I'm burning. I'm going to show you guys when I do so you can see it. Because... Oh God. Oh Jesus. Oh my God. I'm gonna burn it. Don't do it. It's a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. The doll is cursed. I'm not ending up with another Minnie. Minnie don't know. The doll is cursed. I'm not ending up with another Minnie. God damn it. And leave me alone. Good riddance. I feel so much better now. Like... When my blood start running, the doll appeared. It's evil. Evil. Ah! Turn on the light. Huh? Why are you barking at me? What? Is that? Hello? Hello? not opening this door for the rest of the day. Did you guys see it? It was a dead man. I told you not to run at the thing, whatever that was. Get in. Come.
Look, to make things clear here, the man had the word fantasies in his account name, so it might be that this whole thing is staged, or maybe he used the word to describe the weird phenomena that have been occurring in his house. You want to know something about me? You don't. Alright then, but would you be curious to know something about the next video? You should. If that's the case, then let's start. I don't like people who scream a lot. No matter what the situation is, you can always be more calm, or at least not scream as much, even if someone is strangling you and you have no one near you to help. And what happened to the fact that we didn't want to know anything about you? Well, son, that's all pouring into the same bowl, as it will all make sense to you when I get to talk about the next video, in which we will feature an unknown Chinese man. How racist? What do you mean? What did I say? You're just trying to sound funny about the fact that Chinese people kind of look similar to each other. You misunderstood. It's just that the source of the video is unknown. The man is exploring what looks to be an abandoned building. Really, dude? I thought it was fresh. So, as he was going downstairs, a steel bull came out flying out of nowhere. How terrifying. But it gets even more spooky when he reaches the basement, which is all flooded with water. So the water was cursed by some demonic forces. Isn't that what you're trying to say? Nope, it was just sewer water. How dirty. But what he found there was nothing less than scary, as a female figure appeared to be sitting in the basement. Then, on his second attempt to get there, he found some weird-looking shape moving slowly in the water.
Oh, 你妈的！出来！ 操你妈！ 出来！啥玩意儿？啥？有人吗？操你妈的！操你妈！ 你妈了个逼！操你妈的！出来！操你妈的！哎呦我操那啥呀！啊！啊！啊！ 我操你妈！我操！啊！ 里有东西。那两个那有东西，出来！我真妈的！
I feel like I know who this explorer is because he is very similar to one a lot of people are familiar with. That guy always screams too, but the only critical point that differentiates them is the video resolution, as that guy seems to use a 2006 Nokia phone to record his videos. I can't really comprehend how some people can live in a property for years and still not know everything about the place, and I'm not talking about the history of the property because that requires so much digging. I'm referring to the areas in the house, like all the rooms, secret holes and such. Yes, if the house is large, you might find that there are some hidden areas here or there. This takes me to our next fiancé, Jay. She said that she has been living in this house for 3 years or more, and she didn't know what was in the attic. She climbed up there once, maybe when she first acquired the house, but ever since, she has never gone up there again. She said that it was really difficult to climb up there, so she never bothered. So even if some freak happened to be lingering up there, she may never find out. But she decided it was time. The moon was full, the wolves began howling, and she knew it was time to get up and climb that ladder. She wanted to document the event though. Up there, she found a small hidden room, a disappointment room, a hidden feature sometimes found in 19th century American homes, allegedly used to confine family members with disabilities or mental health conditions, and a small door with a doorknob that leads to God knows where. Now you might be asking, what is so creepy about all of this? Well, little Timmy, we're about to talk about it. Just hang in there. I know my legs are a little shaky and can't handle weight as much as they used to, but hang in there. There was a hole in one of the walls, which led to darkness. When she took a peek at it, she caught what frightened an entire community. A figure's head just swept away after staring her down. She made follow-up videos to clear up the confusion that there are not passages that lead anywhere to the lower floors.
So I have this little room up in my attic, and I want to show you guys what I found in here. But first, look at this. I've been up here 2 times. I've lived in this house for 3 years, and I've been here. This will be my 2nd time. And I started doing some picking up, but that's my house down there. And this is, so if you close the door, look how tiny it is. But look at the doorknob. It's literally a foot away from the ground. Look at that. Okay, so anyways, let me just open that up real quick. I found this little guy up here. He has like a little thing to put batteries, which I'm going to try and see if it works. That'll be so cool, but it's so old and dusty. And I found him back here in this hole. I covered it back up because it's a little scary, but it's full of things. Oh, what was that? Alright guys, real quick, this is the hole that leads up to the attic, that leads to the room that goes this way. So once you go up to the attic, the door is right here, and then the big room is here. And I don't have a drop down, so I've been using this 6-foot ladder to go up there. And I have to climb my way up the last half because I don't have a long enough ladder. But the intention was to go up there to put these things and use that as a closet upstairs. But anywho, let me show you that there's no holes on the ceilings real quick. So that's one. This is a room, and there's no holes up there. Just this big hole that leads up to the attic. And then the living room, there's no holes. Okay. There's a room. There's a hole there, but that's a vent. So, I mean, it's, you can't really see what was seen on the previous video. Plus, I was by myself. There was nobody in here. There was nobody walking around. This is the closet. And then there's one more. Let me show you guys. This is another room. Again, no holes in the ceilings. Another vent, but no like visible holes that you could see through. And then the closet, no holes. But there is a weird little door again. I don't know what's up with the weird little doors. That one's sealed. You can't open it. It's sealed. Let's go upstairs. We're up here already, and I got to the room, and I want to show you guys. I cleaned up a little bit, but to answer some of your questions, someone asked, what does this window lead to right next to the door? And I don't know. It's sealed, and there's like, yeah, it's just covered with siding. And then how did the furniture get up here? I'm assuming somebody built this up here.
That was your sign. Jay, it's your sign to evade. There is no room for two in this house. Yeah, it's a big house, and there is enough space for a large-sized family, but not for a ghost. I don't even think that thing was a ghost. Either some creep or a djinn figure shape-shifting. But if it was a creep, how did he sneak his way in there? I have heard stories of creeps living in someone else's house for a long time, hiding in a wall without the owner knowing. More like those watching in silence, not subscribing or watching the next video on screen.